Thunder! 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 ThunderCats! Ho!
Welcome back, Radical Ones, to another ThunderCats review brought to you by the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. As always, I am your host, Radical Ryan Hunter, here with brother David. It's 2023, and we are back for more kitty cat fun. Meow.
Hello, my fellow bunglers.
David, we're coming off the 5-part Lion-O anointment trial, and we're also debuting a new mail segment. We've gotten so many wonderful comments. We thought in this new year, we're going to debut our mail call. So here it is. Enjoy the Monkian-ness of this mail song.
My source tells me maybe your source.
She even looks older.
How dare you say that to me?
I didn't think Lion-O was like that.
I tell you it's true. The information comes from my best source. There's another thing. According to my source,
I did it for the money.
and I paid the money. Are you sure your source is on our side?
You got
ThunderCats!
mail.
And keep your foot off that blasted Somoflan.
So, of course, that was inspired by Monkian sources from our last episode. So we figured when we do get something, why not get the message from our sources?
According to our sources, the treetop's the place to go.
Matesh is our first comment. Yes, Retro Brothers. What an exceptional, great Christmas gift. I can't believe you did all that work to produce all 5 in one show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matesh. But we all know Lion-O really did not truly earn the Lord status because he never bested Snarf, the bravest of all the ThunderCats. Time to get the popcorn ready for the retro event of the year, ThunderCats Ho Ho Ho, Matesh. Love him.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. You always uplift us, and it's really nice.
So Matesh, exactly. Matesh is always there to uplift us. I love being the Retro Brothers for Matesh. And we also have, our last episode, we got a incoming message from Australia while we were recording. I mean, Leah has made up for lost time. Leah went back and listened to not only all of our ThunderCats episodes leading to this point, but also regular episodes of a little show called Radical Retro Rewind podcast that we do when we're not doing this ThunderCats, David. Leah had to say on the last episode, is everyone on Third Earth incompetent? Do I have to do everything myself? Mumm-Ra from a later episode. These were quotes. Oh my god, yes. All the evil guys are incompetent. Especially you Chief Bungler. Chief Mummy, who goes full Mega Karen whenever he doesn't get his way. And gets wrapped up in himself far too often. I do love that. I can definitely say you guys are absolutely not incompetent. Leah, can you please tell other people around us this for us? This was a work of art and a delight, an in-depth exploration of these episodes. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for it since I knew it was coming and was so delighted to be able to watch it almost straight away. Leah, thank you for that, because it was like 2 hours and 10 minutes. I shall now be all excited about the next ones and continue my fun binge of all your other work. Odd thoughts. The Under-Earth men are thankfully not too like the Morlocks, cannibalistic.
Use your mutant powers in any way. A crack of thunder, the slightest breeze, and my Morlocks will kill your people.
Oh my god, Morlocks from X-Men? Who live in the sewers with their Katie Lang-like leader. Remember her? What was her name? She fought Storm in like hand-to-hand... What was those? Like those batoons? I swear they fought like American gladiators. Batons! Like American gladiators.
You might want to pull back that competent comment.
Yeah!
Nice guys, can't speak English.
Callisto! I think her name was Callisto, that woman.
I recently started watching a couple of the episodes of the X-Men, the one that we used to watch in the early 90s?
Yeah,
I
93.
actually really enjoy them. Anyway, get back to
You know it's coming back, right? Like, they're continuing that series with the original actors and the art. It's coming back, I think, next year.
No, I did not know that.
Cyclops unfortunately passed away, the voice actor, but everyone, the Storm, Wolverine, everyone's coming back. So Chitara actually has a whole wardrobe full of her leotard's uniforms. Okay, so Leah sent this picture, and I ended up sending it to David, too. So apparently, once you like one style of clothing, no other will do. So literally in Chitara's closet it looked like 2 leotards hanging up, 2 spare things of boots, and a cape, which I'm assuming is the cape she gave Lion-O to go to Hook Mountain.
I love this attention to detail. I love it. First of all, I really appreciate you sending that, because we always say that cartoons, they always wear the same outfits. And
Yes.
You always wonder, do you just have a wardrobe of, whatever, the same thing that you're wearing? And it's so true. Like, to actually see that is really funny.
And how sad, though, that this is what they're forced to only wear. Like, you can only wear this, Chitara.
The burbles. There's only so many garments they're going to do for the machines they're using. They can't keep just pulling different yarns and cottons off. So they have to put out so many garments. And that's what you're wearing.
No other will do. I really do appreciate Tigra, even though people don't seem to, at least you guys do. He's an architect, a scientist, environmentalist, and he's awesome. Yes, Tigra. We do love Tigra. Okay, I agree that it's fascinating about Matef, the god, the Lynx god in the last episode, about how his powers are based on the belief of others. I almost wonder what other gods are lurking around Third Earth. I've used this trick myself in my writing because it feels quite believable that a god's power are based on beliefs in them. Interesting thing to note that from Mumm-Ra Lives, that Mumm-Ra might have stolen the pyramid as Chitara and Lynxo. Who is this Lynxo you talk about, Leah? We don't know this Lynxo.
I don't know, huh? Mariah Carey.
Lynxo couldn't tell us.
They talk about there being good things there in the pyramid. They find a good talisman that is effective against him and the Lunatics, hinting that Mumm-Ra went full Karen and terrified the previous residents to make them move out. I can't wait to get into those into season 2. I still want to know just who Monkian is meeting in that tree.
Us too.
We really do.
We know it's a woman. Is that thing you think there's other monkey people, Monkian type individuals, or is there a warrior maiden that really doesn't like the Thundercats? I never thought Lion-O would be like that.
It was Nada. I think we accused her.
As you said.
Naida.
As the internet is told.
Google pronounced the name as Naida. Is he bananas about her? Or did Slive try to climb that tree? I wouldn't want to see what happens then. Admittedly, the last one makes me wonder just what kind of parents are giving birth to these idiots. And who would want to give birth to someone like Vulture Man? Ouch. Ooh.
Maybe he had a soft beak.
That's how they're born? Yeah. Vulture Men are born with the soft beak. I have thoughts aplenty. LOL. Enjoy my madness, and I'll enjoy your commentary, hearts. So there, as a thanks, is a mirror. Maybe you can find Wizra in here, since you're searching for him. Mirror, mirror, mirror icons. Can't help to look.
Oh, yes, thank you. I love Wizra.
Did you end up getting Wizra visitation in your mirror?
No, that big mirror did not serve me well. I just saw my own busted reflection.
The horror of my own reflection.
The horror of my own reflection is right. Wizra, I need you. And since you only come once a millennia,
it should be all right.
Is it really cheating?
To be continued if Wizra comes to visit David. Well, first of all, thank you both, Mitesh. Thank you, Leah. Thank you, Leah, for all the other comments that you did. Thank you for finding our Instagram and joining our ThunderCats Instagram as well.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I'm so happy you're enjoying it. Like, this is part of, again, I've said it a multitude of times on the podcast, just knowing that somebody's really enjoying it, that gets our humor and genuinely likes it, and the content makes me very happy, because there's,
it's not for everyone, baby. This humor ain't for everybody. So thank you for even understanding what we're saying in the first place. I agree. We can't wait for you all to continue this journey with us. I actually told David the other day that it seems like next December we will be finishing ThunderCats Season 1, as the way it goes. There are 2 episodes a month up until December. We will be ending, and if you guys have any thoughts of what you'd like to see in our finale episode of season 1, I know it's a year away. You got a lot of time to think of something. I mean, at least we're finishing season 1, right? And we'll learn who Linkso is.
Listen, we have said on a previous podcast, we're going to drag this out as long as possible because when they remake that Thundercat movie, finally, we're going to be on trend.
No, honestly, and like David always says, longevity, baby. If we could do Thundercats 2011, Thundercats Roar, and then maybe we will be doing a review of that movie. We will be on YouTube reviewing that movie maybe when it comes out. That we hope to have a whole Thundercats extravaganza for you all. And then let us continue with season 1, David. This is season 1, episode 38, The Demolisher, November 13th, 1985. Thank you, as always, to the ThunderCats Wikipedia for the synopsis and trivia we will be using today. Where do we start, David? Where do we start? An alien spacecraft arrives on Third Earth and lands near Mumm-Ra's pyramid. The ship belongs to the Demolisher, a warrior who searches the galaxy for fighters who will give him a decent challenge in one-on-one battle. His sidekick and cheerleader...
An armadillo?
It's an armadillo. Okay, right? It's an armadillo and he looks almost like a dingo?
Yeah.
A dingo and armadillo.
I wonder if he would be part of the mutant clan, because he's, Jackalman. He looks like a jackal, but I wonder what this Demolisher is. I kind of couldn't put my finger on him exactly. The little drummer boy.
I loved that, and I loved when Snarf whipped him with his tail and threw that drummer across the frickin' field.
Stay out of this, furball. He'll finish you next time. Don't take it out on me! I'm strictly a cheerleader!
Let's get back. We talked too much in the beginning anyway, but go ahead.
Yeah, when you let us loose, that's it. You let us loose. Thundercats are loose, and we're all over the place. So... did you get right off the bat, Safari Joe does it again? Looking for a fight, looking for someone who's tough enough with a cheerleader / sidekick.
Kind of, honestly, because Safari Joe looked at his opponents as like they're animals, because he was a human, clearly.
Yes.
And it was more of like trapping an animal. So the Demolisher is more about he wants to best every possible opponent that is a warrior. So yes and no, but I felt like Safari Joe, he even treated the Thundercats like panthers and different things. He put them in certain cages and stuff. So yes and no, to be honest with you. I really feel like the Demolisher clearly is out to find the best warriors and defeat them, where Safari Joe, it's literally, he's going on a safari. He's like in Africa illegally shooting elephants and stuff so he can like get the tusks, and stuff. So I get it, but not for me.
Okay, so then he's also straight off 42 straight victories up until this point, and his little cheerleader says, they say Mumm-Ra is the most powerful being in the galaxy. And David, what does the Demolisher say? Ha ha! Oh, Mumm-Ra, the ever living. Like he's not about Mumm-Ra's title.
He's like, who's his hype man?
Yeah.
Mumm-Ra.
42 straight victories, Dirge. I'm bored. I need opponents that fight. They say that Mumm-Ra, the ever-living, is the most powerful being in the galaxy, Demolisher. Surely he will give you a worthwhile battle. Mumm-Ra, the ever-living? At least, let's take a look. I suppose we've nothing more violent to do.
And they come for him. They come for his pyramid, David. And Mumm-Ra's a little in shock that this person is stepping up to him and his pyramid. He's like, what? You're coming for me?
He's like, don't you dare step to me like some Bia in high school.
Dares disturb my eternal rest. greatest fighter in the galaxy has landed on Third Earth. He is the Demolisher! The greatest fighter in the galaxy! We'll see about that!
So he challenges Mumm-Ra, who emerges from his pyramid, and the two engage in a lengthy battle. Eventually, the Demolisher defeats Mumm-Ra and pins him in the ground. Upon Mumm-Ra seeing his reflection in the Demolisher's boot, he retracts back into the pyramid. But this is the first time, David, that I've seen him shrivel up into nothing and kind of just disappear. Usually he flies holding his head that he saw himself. This he's just like, no, shrivel up to nothing. Goodbye.
The fight, the battle between them was very interesting. Then there was a point where Mumm-Ra actually shrinks himself down to a tiny Mumm-Ra and is like doing bouncing between this guy's big feet, and it kind of was like a little. That would have not been something I would have done.
Why did he do that, David? And then he actually says this line: "Or do you prefer someone larger?"
Show yourself, coward! Fight! Look down, Demolisher! Surely the greatest warrior in the galaxy can deal with such a tiny creature. Or would you prefer someone larger?
Someone larger. Do you prefer someone larger? By your feet. Your Demolisher feet.
Are you into skinny people, or are you a chubby chaser like my ex?
So he says, a magician? I thought he was a warrior.
A magician? And I thought that he was a warrior! Demolisher, let us fight!
And then Mumm-Ra, this was amazing. Mumm-Ra puts on an armor for a minute, but literally the armor just like gets broken as soon as he puts it on. What the F was that?
I thought it was interesting, but I gotta be honest with you. Every time we see these episodes, I feel my faith in Mumm-Ra's abilities dwindling, because there's so many things that I've seen Mumm-Ra do, and I feel like he could have made the man sink into sand like he did the
Yes.
And why doesn't he just turn his head? You know, I listen, I'm hating my own reflection right now and go, ah, when I see it. But I could turn my head real quick and just pretend I didn't see the glimpse into this wild child that I've become. So just turn your head, and then get out of there.
It's like a deer in headlights, David. He can't look away. He's just like, oh, is that me? Oh, because it doesn't just show his reflection. It always has to torment him because it always kind of gets warped. So it's like a funhouse mirror. So I don't blame Mumm-Ra for going, wait, is that me? Is this what I look like? Because let me tell you, Toot and Tiny's potions was supposed to make me look really good. And this is not how it's supposed to look. You can't do this to Mumm-Ra, David. You're his hype man. You can't abandon Mumm-Ra now when he needs you.
I just, for our listeners, we typically watch the episodes before we do the podcast because, first of all, I watched them how many years ago?
Yes.
And watch them more than that, but so we refresh our memories on certain episodes and for certain details. But I know that he does some pretty crazy stuff later on in the seasons. It's season 1 and season 2, but yeah, I'm not feeling him right now. I think Karen lost control of the HOA board. I think she's got too many complaints coming in. And so, yeah, that's me.
And let's remember, this is after the first trial, but not really. I kind of saw that evidently the trials were set up to be the season finale originally, which makes so much more sense because the last episode had Mumm-Ra dying, quote unquote. I hate that we're all out of continuity, whatever, that way with Mumm-Ra. But so after this fight, he tells him to follow the ball of light into the pyramid. Like, this is a callback to Exodus, our first episode with the mutants. signs. Follow the ball of light.
You
and
may
he's
enter, and you will not be harmed.
But he doesn't even want to. He wants to leave, really, at this point. Like, the Demolisher?
Yeah.
I want to keep calling him the Mentor. Demolisher. He goes in.
Come back here and fight, coward! For a moment, I thought we had a worthy opponent. No such luck. Follow the ball of light, Demolisher, and I will show you a fighter you will never defeat. It may be a trick. It may be a fight.
And then Mumm-Ra has his collage of various clips of Lionel that he's been collecting over the years. And he's like, he's not impressed with the Demolisher.
He's swiping left.
You like Boy Cub? Look what he does here.
This is a picture of him sleeping. Oh, that's another picture of him sleeping. Oh, there's Chitara sleeping. Oh, Panthro sleeping. Oh, this is a beautiful. This is when I was with Tigra and I was sleeping. This is when I pretend to be a little fairy. And this is when the mutants first came to me. Okay, here we are. We're at the pictures that I wanted. Oh, don't look at that picture. That's for mummies only.
The mummies only. You've been selling feet pictures lately.
You're wasting my time, Mumm-Ra. Surely you're not afraid, are you, Demolisher? I do not know the meaning of fear, Mumm-Ra. Come, Dirge. We'll continue our tour of the galaxy. Somewhere, there must be someone who will give me a good fight.
So, Demolisher is not impressed by the clips that he's showing of Lionel, but Mumm-Ra's kind of like, but look at this one. Look at this one. He looks really good in this one, Boy Cub. So, he kind of finally gets intrigued, and he's like, what's this cub's name? And he's like, Lionel, Lord of the ThunderCats. And he laughs at that too, because he don't like titles.
Then he gets disinterested, and then Mumm-Ra's like, are you afraid? He calls him chicken, basically.
Yeah, because he's leaving. He's still
so
leaving.
His pride, it's not that he thought Lionel was so amazing from the pictures he saw. Which I have to say, the pictures that he did show them weren't so fantastic.
Those are Mumm-Ra's favorite. You can't just... This is Mumm-Ra's taste. This is when he thinks Lionel looks at his best. It's like when, like, you're trying to show some person you're interested off to your friends or your family and like, look how handsome they are. And they're like, He looks yeah, he looks okay. And you're hyping them up. So he's about to leave, but then like David's saying, he's like, oh, you're afraid, I see, of Lionel. And then he is like, oh, I'll do it. So Lionel and Snarf are kind of just walking in a field, and he shows up. And then the Demolisher initially dismisses Lionel as being nothing but a mere cub with a sword. But Mumm-Ra continues to taunt the Demolisher into fighting Lionel until the alien agrees. So Mumm-Ra basically peer pressured him into doing this.
Yep.
And that happened. So he swoops in from the sky wearing his rocket pack and attacks Lionel and Snarf. Lionel is surprised at the unprovoked attack and questions the Demolisher about his motives for fighting. I love this. The Demolisher replies that he simply fights Lionel because he exists.
There's nothing better than a good fight.
But why?
If you don't fight, you don't conquer. And if you don't conquer, you don't exist. A harmless toy for a harmless boy.
So again, this is showing that Lionel's maturity, or he's maturing. This is showing the fact that he knows that why would you fight somebody? There's nothing Lionel has nothing to prove, I feel like, in his mind, which is the truth. And he also is kind of confused of why, we kind of talked about this on the first day of the trials, where he's like, I don't want to fight you, Panthro. It's like, why would I do that? You're my friend. So this guy's obviously not his friend, but he's like, you're just randomly coming up to me. It's like walking down the street and someone just picking a fight with you. Hey, bro. And just going up to you and be like, let's fight, like pushing you or something. There's no, why would you want to do this? Like, he's probably like, I just got over the acid lake and I don't have time to be more aggravated. There's enough things trying to kill me on this planet. I don't need somebody just stepping up to me.
I mean, it's true.
And then the Demolisher basically is like, well, I will destroy you. I'm going to keep coming at you no matter what. Basically.
I mean, it's crazy because we find out, I mean, this is later on, but this character says he has no cause. I believe in nothing. I have nothing. Oh my God, talk about something deep.
Who hurt you, baby? Who hurt you?
Fight, Demolisher! But one day you'll meet your match, and your string of worthless victories will be ended by a pointless defeat.
It's all I know. It's all I can do. Without fighting, I am nothing.
Then fight for a cause, Demolisher. Something you believe in.
Never! I have no cause. I believe in nothing. I have nothing but strength.
Like you said, the mutants are gentlemen and scholars with the way they talk. The Demolisher has something going on. He's got nothing. He's got no cause. He's got nothing in life.
Got no friends. He's got nothing. He's a loner.
The Demolisher utilizes every single weapon in his arsenal against the Lord of the Thundercats, but Lion-O succeeds in counteracting each and everything of those with the Sword of Omens. Finally, the Demolisher manages to restrain Lion-O using his giant fork-like grounder, which encases Lion-O in an electric field. Lion-O succeeds in freeing his arm and summons the other Thundercats using the Sword of Omens. Oh my God, David. Chitara was laying down. Did you see her lounging?
At the lake, she's like, let me dip my finger in the water. Oh, there's something gonna rip it off.
Poor Chitara. She is just lounging, literally dipping her little finger in, and she gets the call. So they can never
daydreaming
relax.
about Mumm-Ra and seeing the reflection in the water. She's like,
like there's a reflection in here. Can you use a?
like the corners of my mind, misty corner.
She starts toting around the mirror on wheels. She starts bringing it everywhere she goes. Lounges with
she
it.
does a crude picture of him. She's like, "Oh look, Mumm-Ra's here, my date. Say hello to my date." No, that's terrible. So I want to bring you back for a second because the first thing he does is he traps him with this like razor metal thing that coils around him.
Oh,
and Lion-O breaks it finally, just like he broke when they were when Sharnin trapped them. He's very strong, even without invoking the power of the Sword of Omens. I don't know if it's his age or that's the breed of who like kind of
Oh, that breed.
Thundercat is, but he's very strong, and that's something. Or he just somehow summons a little bit more, summons the power. I don't know.
No, I wrote the same thing, that it's literally his thighs break the rope at first. He's just like, he squeezes them apart. They start to break.
Mumm-Ra and Lion-O. Oh, anyway. I wanted to also say something. When he first gets attacked by, this is where, again, Snarf.
Oh, I love Snarf.
I don't care what any people say. I know he's a pain in the butt with his whining and sort of like everything's out to, the world is like a horrible place, like wah, wah, all the time. He literally, the sword falls from Lion-O's hand because he gets blasted, and yes. Snarf tries to retrieve it and give it back to him. And Snarf also
beats at Drum Man. He takes the drum and beats him with it. and he goes, "I'm just a cheerleader." The little thing.
I'm strictly a cheerleader.
I don't get involved. Like, don't be trying to. He's like, do you remember in American Horror Story the apocalypse at the last episode when the voodoo queen that takes over for Madame
Marie Laveau, right?
Marie Laveau, and she's like, "I'm only here to watch." That's what this armadillo with a drum is like. I'm only here to watch. Yet you're talking smack, so you're gonna get smacked by Snarf.
And Snarf is the perfect height.
But this also, to be honest with you, this also shows me how much Snarf loves Lion-O and with put himself between the Demolisher and Mumm-Ra and
It's true.
and to try to help him, to rescue him. He even says, use the sword, Lion-O. And listen, you don't get that much in life. You don't always get the love that you need or want, or I think he gets a lot of love and a lot of protection, his heart mostly, you know, from Snarf. Snarf loves him dearly.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's why that episode, when he thought Snarf was leaving, it just broke Lion-O's heart.
I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's also a beautiful thing to show children in a show that, because Lion-O doesn't have parents, they're dead. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing that he has. I mean, all the Thundercats love him, and like even Chitara kind of like babies him a little bit, and she like I don't know, it was just nice to see. I honestly, for me, it was just a nice thing, and I don't know why it's such a sticking point for me, but it was just, again, one, it proves Snarf does belong with the Thundercats, because he will even put himself on the line, even though they kind of view him as a coward.
Yes, unfortunately.
But also that he cares that much about Lion-O to protect him. So
what a good sidekick, really. Tigra, Panther, and Chitara show up, and this is my favorite line.
Yes.
I called my friends to save you, not me. Holy shit, Lion-O.
Because the guy says you can't beat me without your friends, and he won't align. This is when Lion-O really gets pissed off. He's like, now I'm past the point of confused why you want to attack me. Now I've had enough of your nonsense. And so he says to protect them, because at this point he says, I will destroy you, basically.
Demolisher wins again. Say goodbye to... Not so fast, Dirge! Look! Too frightened to fight without your friends, coward?
I'm no coward, Demolisher. I called my friends to save you, not to save me.
To save me?
Force me to fight on, and I will surely destroy you.
You're finished!
And this is where you feel then Lion-O's confidence again. He's grown into his confidence, and so
Lion-O then fires all three of his claw lines at the Demolisher's floating spaceship and pulls it to the ground.
another amazing feat of strength.
As Lion-O has clearly won the fight, he tries to talk some more sense into Demolisher by convincing him to fight for a cause instead of searching for hollow victories. The Demolisher, however, refuses to change his thinking, saying that he has no causes. Then he and Drag climb back into their ship and blast
And in
off
drag,
into
he goes in
space.
drag to go on the ship.
I think it's Drag or Dreg. Dreg?
It ain't Drake.
No, it ain't Drake. It ain't Drag. Drag. Lion-O, what did I write here? Lion-O was done. He held his arms up and said no. I don't know what that is about. I think at one point he was just so mad. He was just like, no. But what do you think about this? Lion-O, like you said, he's so mature that he's literally telling this man that you could be fighting for a cause and actually feeling something. You know, not just battling these hollow victories that you defeat somebody and then you just go off to the next.
And after me, who next? Will you fight forever? For no cause?
Forever! Farewell, ThunderCat!
I guess he's recognizing that this Demolisher has no life compass. He I don't know, like, it's got to be a sad life that you just go around trying to pick on different warriors just to, it's not an honorable thing. It's not like he is doing this, so like in Dragon Ball Z where Kakarot is fighting to improve his abilities and getting himself to another level, and he kind of tells that, like, it's not an anger thing. Even when he gets beat up and he beats up the other person, it's like he'll almost like extend his hand to him and be like, thank you, great fight, I would love to do this again. So it's not in any, you know, a malicious way. He just wants
Like
to be
malice,
against the best. He wants to fight the best to see what he's capable of doing. So that's kind of like, I guess, where the Demolisher obviously is wrong, because he just lives a lonely existence fighting people for the joy of getting off on hurting people and besting them and defeating them. Lionel's basically saying if you could use all that energy to fight for a cause, you'd be more fulfilled, you'd have friends, things of that nature.
And he wanted them to fight for his cause, too. That he was trying to recruit them for the ThunderCats and randomly.
Yeah.
I wish he'd joined us in our struggle to spread the Code of Thundera. Justice,
Truth
Honor.
and loyalty. ThunderCats!
I wish they would fight for our cause. Well, damn,
Chitara doesn't want to wear that leotard anymore, so maybe you could help the burble create new garments.
God, they really do need some new things. But anyway, some trivia, David. Some trivia for this episode.
I'll speak on it.
Neither the mutants nor the Thunder Kittens appear in this episode. They love to leave those Thunder Kittens out. The ball of light that Mumm-Ra used to guide the mutants inside the Black Pyramid and his tomb chamber in Unholy Alliance also appears in this episode. Yes. He had to save up that ball energy. When Mumm-Ra shows the Demolisher images of Lion-O in his cauldron, the scenes are from earlier episodes. Return to Thundera, The Rock Giant. Return to Thundera was written by Bob Hanley, while The Rock Giant was written by Peter Lawrence. The two writers collaborated on the script of this episode. Way to call back on the episodes you wrote, gentlemen. That's why Mumm-Ra had some random things in there. Oh, what episodes did we write? Peter Newman, the voice of Tigra, has stated in a number of interviews that doing the Demolisher's voice, which I could hear him trying to do, was the most difficult voice he had to perform, and he was glad that the character never appeared in any other episode. You could tell he was really doing a kind of voice with this laugh. But what did Lynn Lipton say, Peter Newman, when she was every female voice? At least there was 5 other men in that record.
I'm every woman, it's all in me.
Oh my god. And then the Demolisher says to Lion-O, a fool and his sword are soon parted, which is a reference to the Old English proverb, a fool and his money are soon parted. Not food.
Don't you take my food?
So, David, the ending of this is the Thundercats trying to get Snarf to stop playing the drum because he keeps banging the drum and he's just like, Lion-O!
And that's part of that wholesome, gives me like the warm feelings, because this is like it's like they won this battle and they have their camaraderie and their love of and then respect of each other. The Code of Thundera.
Yes.
It really is a simple code. It really is like a good, like a compass, like I was saying about how the Demolisher has no Jiminy Cricket, no compass, so he's like, you'll have to fight me for the drum, and then Lionel runs after him. He's like, that's a fight that I'm willing to
fight for or something, and the 3 of them also follow afterwards, like, gotta get that drum from Snarf.
Victory to Lion-O, Lord of the ThunderCats! Victory to Lion-O, Lord of the ThunderCats!
Hey, Snarf, cut it out!
Oh no!
Snarf.
Snarf, enough!
If you want the drum, you have to fight for it!
Now that's what I call a cause.
It's nice. It's like a real family playing around and doing crazy stuff. And even though, in spite of the fact that they have these unsurmountable odds against them and issues and problems, so I like it. That's probably also why I've liked it. I've always been attracted to having a good vibe, a good feeling,
yes,
and having that warmth, because it's important in life. For me, it is.
That was the Demolisher. We'll find out who the Bungler was at the end of this whole episode.
ThunderCats, give me power beyond power!
Always those blasted mutants. We've been breached.
Mock my power!
I, Lion-O, Lord of the ThunderCats,
Thundercats, proclaim it.
Destined to be king.
You must be brave, Lionel. It is your duty.
Raised as a warrior.
Give me the sword. You shall not have it while I live.
Born a hero. The Lord of the Thundercats is here to fight for Third Earth.
It is your destiny that you hold in your hand.
Thundercats, weekdays at 4. Part of Toonami.
As we go to David, Monkian's Bargain, episode 139, airing on November 14th, 1985. Mumm-Ra summons Monkian to his Black Pyramid and offers to give him control over the entire northern section of Third Earth.
I love this. Wait, I know I have to stop you already. He summons Monkian, and Monkian's like, "Why did you get me out of bed for this now?" Kind of thing. And then he's like, presents these like blue orbs and basically says it would give him the power to defeat
these blue balls.
I want. He gave him blue balls. He wanted the Sword of Omens, and then he goes, "And I will let you have this sector of Third." And he goes, "Oh, did you like?" He's almost like, "Did you notice that that's where the cat slayer is?" Like, he's so ridiculous. Like, I didn't know that was there. It happens to be, by the way.
Well, that's what he did. Didn't he say that? He said, the northern section has gold, jewels. Oh, and that's where the Thundercats live.
But it's just funny. It's like, what's that over? I didn't even notice that. The cat slayer is in that region.
It's not like my cameras are fixated on that continuously, including right now over my cauldron.
I found humor in it.
I found humor in the fact that Monkian got there. Mumm-Ra looked like he just came out of the bathroom or something from the side. He literally came out of the side like he was working on
where
something.
are you? Maybe he's pacing.
He's like, here, Monkian, here. I was over here, just dusting or redoing something.
I'm redoing the treasure chamber. The driller came by to beg for diamonds.
I had to abuse the driller some more. Excuse me. In
Makes
my
me feel
room.
good about myself.
Mumm-Ra. Mumm-Ra. Here, Monkian. Why have you summoned me here, Mumm-Ra? Because you dream of power, Monkian, and I can give you power. Behold! I will give you the northern sector of Third Earth, rich in gold, jewels, and it is where the Thundercats live. Get me the Eye of Thundera, and you shall have the power to possess everything you desire. But how will I get the Eye from the Thundercats? With these spheres of power.
The mutant brings him the Eye of Thundera. Mumm-Ra's gonna give him the entire northern section of Third Earth. Monkian agrees, and Mumm-Ra hands him the Spheres of Power to aid him on his mission. Just before Monkian leaves the pyramid, Mumm-Ra reminds him that with great power comes great responsibility. With a price comes with a price. And Monkian agrees to pay the price.
Give them to me.
Power has its price, Monkian. Are you prepared to pay a price?
I'll pay. Power is worth any price.
Any price?
Give me the spheres, Mumm-Ra. If they work, I'll pay anything.
So, we have a bargain?
Yes, Mumm-Ra. We have a bargain.
A bargain!
Okay, so, David, did Mumm-Ra pick Monkian knowing that he was basically just gonna go like, yes?
I feel like he picked Monkian because of his liberal views on, just kidding, on the fact that Slide is a sexist pig. And also, the orbs gave me throwback to Buffy the Vampire Slayer when the trio, what's his name, gets these orbs and he's invincible and takes on Buffy.
There was these power balls, basically. Yeah, I
like to win the power ball.
Do we have a bargain? He says. Do we have a bargain?
And Monkian is so... Maybe he picked Monkian because he feels like Monkian is the most driven. Do you get that? I feel like Monkey, like he's out in trees talking to random things to get secret messages. My sources. You don't see Jacqueline doing that, or
Slythe is always just.
You don't see anybody. So I mean, Mumm-Ra is all seeing because he's always spying everybody else. He probably saw that Monkian thirst for power. This is where Monkian's downfall is. It's almost like when you watch this, Monkian can be intelligent about many things, and he can talk about a lot of things. But that instinct of being aggressive, like when he hits the sky cut or whatever, it's like then that comes out in him, that mean streak or whatever you want to say, that primal thing.
How smart and intelligent he still is overcome by his primal, his urges of bang.
I think maybe Mumm-Ra knew that. I mean, maybe I'm heavily reading into that, but Mumm-Ra is always nefarious. You know, you're making a deal with the devil. It's like, you know, you can't, because he's like, how bad do you want these orbs? How bad do you want it? What will you do for it? Will you strike the bargain with me? And Monkian, without even asking what the bargain is, he's like, yes, I'll do anything.
Yes.
Anything.
He said, I'll pay anything, any gold, any jewels, like Mumm-Ra wants that.
But that's where his mind comes from. How does he think that Mumm-Ra needs jewels when he has a jewel chamber? And
I don't think they know. Do they? Oh, they do know about it. Did they see that the first episode?
I don't know. Maybe that's where Mumm-Ra was. Maybe he was just getting the orbs from his vault. He's like, I had to go to the MGM vault, the original copy of the Wizard of Oz. Let's see, Casablanca. Oh, the blue orbs.
And I have to say, they come in a Mumm-Ra logo hip bag. They have the Mumm-Ra insignia on them. So he has taken up Panthro's
He's got merch. We should be doing this. We need merch.
You want your Mumm-Ra ball bag? Can we have that? Mumm-Ra's ball bag, hip bag, with his snake logo.
Maybe we should mummatize his logo.
Mummatize it?
Mummatize it?
Mummatize? You want to mummatize me? Monkian?
So anyway, before we go really off the rails, which you already have, like from the first episode on,
Monkian
strikes the bargain with Monkian, and Monkian immediately proceeds to go to the cat's lair, where he's hiding in the trees.
Yeah.
All right.
He first encounters Panthro and Chitara just outside Cat's Lair Fortress. Armed with the power spheres, Monkian is able to defeat the two Thundercats, trapping them inside the sphere's energy. Tigra also suffers the same fate when he tries to stop Monkian from crossing the drawbridge to the lair. And this is where Monkian literally turns into a crossbow and starts shooting Tigra.
No, he's invisible.
Yes, they have this whole invisibility thing going on.
First of all, it's so funny where Cheetar and Panther just happen to be walking and they come upon him like, what are you doing here? Like,
yeah, they were just like, why are you here, Monkian?
That's so funny.
You're in our third sector? The northern part of Third Earth? Oh my god, David, Wily Kit and Wily Cat are watching inside. And they do, what do? We just have to bring the drawbridge in. That's the only way. We're leaving all three of them out there, and we're not even going to tell Lionel. Because he's in there with Snarf, right?
What will we do, Wily Kit?
The only thing we can do. Pull the bridge in.
Why didn't the sort of omens warn him? Dun dun dun!
And why did they bring the drawbridge in and leave everyone out there? Goodbye! Bye, Tigra! I think that's what they said. Our only option is to bring the drawbridge in.
Well, they're trying to protect the lair itself. What I wanted to say is that this whole battle scenario with Monkian, with all of them, proves to me how actual smart Monkian is. Because I gotta be honest with you, how is it that he used these blue power orbs more efficiently than Mumm-Ra with his own power. And why wouldn't Mumm-Ra use these orbs to increase his power? Because it seemed like these orbs could do anything. You could be like, I want a cheeseburger, and it becomes a cheeseburger. I want a 1,000-foot tower. It would do that. Like, this is where we talk about bungling and whatever. Monkian was intelligent enough to create these things by just wishing for them or whatever he wants.
Yes.
Without having used these orbs at all before and everything else, and kind of knowing how to point and counterpoint like their moves and everything. So I'm giving it up to Monkian.
Unless it was because he said it comes with a bargain and Mumm-Ra's already sold his soul to the ancient spirits.
I don't think so.
So once inside, Monkian makes quick work of Wily Kit and Wily Cat. A matter of fact, I love this. Kit just says, "Get this stuff off me." That's all she's concerned about. She got tied up by their larinettes, and she's just like, "Get this off me." I like that she's telling him, "You might have tied me up, but get it off me."
Hey! Get this stuff off me!
He turns his attention to obtaining the Sword of Omens and heads to the sword chamber, but is intercepted by Lion-O and Snarf.
The Eye of Thundera.
That's property of the ThunderCats, Monkian. Sword of Omens, come to my hand.
Monkian then uses the power of the spears to grow into a giant version of himself outside the cat's lair. This is where I wrote King Kong, because he climbs up to the top of the lair.
And also, did you notice Lion-O says shut all the windows and doors, whatever.
Yes, he rips the binding off the kittens very quickly too. And he commands them to lower the windows. And I do love that they have these windows now that close. Because I remember commenting that they had windows open. I remember this. I commented a few episodes ago that they had windows without any glass or screens. So now at least they know they have shutters that come down in the case of an emergency.
Another one of those spheres. Seal the layer.
All secure, Lion-O. Now what?
Now, we wait.
He succeeds in grabbing both Lion-O and Snarf as well as the Sword of Omens and takes them to Mumm-Ra's pyramid. Okay, David. This is where
it's weird.
They wake up into bondage. That's what I wrote. Mumm-Ra has them bound together, and Lion-O's arms are bound above his head. But he kind of does he rip them off too?
So he takes them, they wake up, and he's like, "Oh, you're awake? Finally."
I might have been tickling you with this.
At the club is finally wearing off. Oh, and then he uses his power and flings them against the wall, cross bondage, like, a X.
Yes.
And he holds them down. Yeah, the best
yes, I love this. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
You say it. Say it.
So he basically, after he takes them from his little altar that he also had Chitara on.
Yes,
actually,
the one that comes up.
Goes down too.
I love this.
It's like people that have that TV that comes out of the foot of their bed. So he puts them, binds them to the wall. He puts down this cement altar, and then he goes, like this is where gets interesting. He's basically like, I'm gonna put the Sword of Omens inside my crypt, or my sarcophagus, I should say, where it will go blind and be useless.
Oh my god, I love it.
Excellent, Monkian! Excellent! You have brought me the Eye of Thundera. Now the northern sector is yours! Welcome, ThunderCats! The Eye will go blind in my crypt and be powerless forever!
Never!
So does the Eye of Thundera really have optic nerves? It's like the people that tried to trap Lion-O to read for them, the little golems,
the Under-Earth people. Yes,
the Eye will go blind
I love when he said that. Third eye blind. Amen. But you're right. He says it will go blind. And I feel like this coffin is like Mumm-Ra's nightstand because he had the sword, the claw shield in there too. Like by his feet. This is where he stores his important documents and maybe his hand lotion. And he put the Sword of Omens in there too.
Maybe his new iPhone. Or his old iPhone, I should say, since this is after the Earth. He probably has a small TV screen on the inside lid, so he can look at it when he wakes up. Oh, what's going on? What's on Third?
He must, because he goes to bed in this, and then he comes out after he thinks that they're all in there. He says, you can never leave my pyramid to Monkian. While Snarf and Lion-O are his prisoners, Mumm-Ra takes the Sword of Omens inside his sarcophagus. Lion-O then incites Monkian's greed and tricks him into fighting and defeating Mumm-Ra. The mummy then reminds Monkian about their bargain and that the price for his power is his eternal imprisonment inside the pyramid. Monkian quickly agrees to give up his power in return for his freedom and flees the Black Pyramid. Okay, so Mumm-Ra wakes up because he goes to sleep, and this is when Lion-O's kind of like, Monkian, why can't you take it all? He agrees.
Monkian, the northern sector is not enough for a mutant with your powers. You defeat Mumm-Ra in battle, and you will rule all of Third Earth.
Yes, I will rule it. Mumm-Ra, surrender Third Earth or fight! You dare challenge Mumm-Ra? Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumm-Ra, the ever-living!
Mumm-Ra kind of makes these stone cages around Monkian, saying that he can never leave, and Monkian freaks the F out.
The pillars that come up from the ground, that every time he breaks them, so he's still got the blue orb, and he actually pushes Mumm-Ra back with that orb, which again, why doesn't Mumm-Ra use the orb when he fights the ThunderCats? So he keeps putting him in a cage. I want to point out two things. One, he was easily swayed by Lion-O basically saying, why can't you have it all? So that's that instinctual territorial mine. He doesn't look at the big picture because Mumm-Ra went in his sarcophagus. I would have just booked it out of there.
Yeah, he didn't. He left.
I would have booked it
to do whatever he wanted.
Ran out of there and went to Cat's lair and like put my feet up on the console and said mine. Change passwords. Maybe ask Vultureman to come and update the IT, do some IT work.
We haven't seen Vultureman, by the way, in forever.
So this is also something that stuck out to me. He could have walked away. He was easily swayed. The other thing is he acts like a caged animal when put in a cage. Which again, very animalistic, because to be honest with you, couldn't he even turned invisible with those powerful orb thing? And then blew it open and waited to kind of sneak through, or made himself tiny, or made himself into a sheet of paper or whatever, anything, and just slid out the thing like when Mumm-Ra went to sleep, right?
Honestly, because there was enough in between these openings, these stone things, but it kind of it freaked him out. This is like a reverse Planet of the Apes going on here. But but to me, you would think this would be a soul bargain, right? That you could never do this. But once Monkian said he'll give back the balls, Mumm-Ra was just like, okay. You give me my balls back and you can leave. Like, he was okay. He was okay with it.
Power has its price. Remember our bargain, Monkian. I am not afraid of our little bargain, Mumm-Ra. Tell me the price of my power. I will pay now. You rule Third Earth, but it is a kingdom you will never see. Because you can never leave my pyramid. That is the price of your power, Monkian.
I think it's because Mumm-Ra knows that, one, he won't have the power to challenge him again, and then he's top dog again.
Yeah. That's true. Lion-O calls the Thundercats. They break out of their ball structures, and the Thundercats arrive in the Thunder Tank, and Lion-O, after a brief battle with Mumm-Ra, defeats him by showing his own reflection. So this is 2 episodes in a row that Mumm-Ra is taken out by the reflection again.
Quick, Lion-O! The claw shield!
Behold the horror of your own reflection. That takes care of him and Monkian. Everyone all right?
All secure.
And it's also 2 episodes in a row where, again, Snarf proves who he is because he gets
He jumps.
He gets
over Mumm-Ra.
He gets the claw shield, which ultimately defeats Mumm-Ra, out of his crypt while he's battling Lion-O. And this is also another episode where Lion-O uses his brute strength and breaks the bonds that are holding him. Now, Mumm-Ra, he's done this multiple of times. Again, why are you not doing better? Why don't you enchant the bonds that are holding them so that they can't break?
Is it the bonds that are enchanted, or are you just in love with me? Lion, no. I agree. It's always that same thing that he does just enough, but he doesn't really complete everything.
And maybe he's just tired. Maybe he used up his power. He's got to go to sleep.
Like, gotta watch that TV. Plug in.
Like Chitara on the trials. Maybe if I could just dig a little deeper, I could do better work with this bondage.
But you can't. Everyone knows I have a 2-mile radius. From the pyramid, probably. Maybe it is a 2-mile radius.
Maybe it's just maybe he's got a 2-hour limit on his power. Everyone knows I can't keep my form for more than 2 hours, and then I have to go rest. Which again, Mumm-Ra is also damned, as well as he's powerful, but he's also damned because the spirits of evil, those totems that he has, basically he is bound to the pyramid forever. He's a prisoner of his own making, I guess. Yeah, it's interesting.
So I do love this. They broke in with a thunder tank, and it was just sitting in the throne room.
I just like the fact that the tunnel is big enough to accommodate the thunder tank.
So again, yes, where we see this in the future where Lion-O has to go through whatever to get through into Mumm-Ra's pyramid. But today, nope, they even had a ramp to get through, like you said, big enough for the thunder tank to get through down the hall. At the end of this, I love this. Chitara says, why doesn't she drive home? Because they're all tired. I thought Pantro usually drives. Because she's like, to Lion-O, because you must be so exhausted.
Why don't I drive home? Looks like you've had a busy day.
It's a deal.
She's like, let me drive. But Chitara, you always go over the speed limit by 30 miles per hour.
I could get there faster. You don't understand. She must be frustrated half the time.
I feel the need for speed.
So this is how it ends. And the trivia says, apart from Monkian, none of the other mutants appear in this episode. The map of Third Earth that Mumm-Ra shows to Monkian is the same map that was drawn by the creator, Leonard Starr. The map appears in some of the ThunderCats annual comics from the 80s. After defeating Tigra, Monkian says, cats don't always land on their feet. This is a reference to the old English proverb, cats always land on their feet. Mumm-Ra reveals that the cat's lair and its surrounded areas are located in the northern sector of Third Earth. So there is one notch in the mystery. The third sector.
Do you think that Third Earth, after the demise of basically us, before Third Earth became Third Earth? Again, we talked about this. Like, the dinosaurs must have been first Earth. Then we came along. We're second Earth. And Third Earth is this. Do you think the continents shifted into one smaller continent?
Yeah, like almost like everything either broke up, got closer together.
Interesting.
I know it looks like hell.
Acid lakes and crazy. The Go Rock Rock.
The Go Rock Rock. So that leads us to today's
Crocodile Rock. It's the Go Rock Rock. Go Rock Rock.
Nada.
You bungler! Once again. You have failed.
You bungled it!
Dear life.
So, out of our 2 episodes, David, the Demolisher episode, who was your biggest bungler?
I'm honestly going to go on my Karen hate roll. I feel Mumm-Ra, being as powerful as he is, could have done more. If I'm thinking as I'm watching this, so I didn't remember this episode, to be honest with you, the first episode at all. For me to think of things quickly on my feet, knowing that with Mumm-Ra's abilities, saying like, why didn't he just become super big and squash this guy? Why didn't he just disappear when he did this? Why didn't he do this and that? To me, you're not using your potential. Maybe he was afraid we don't know the limits of Mumm-Ra's power, but I honestly have to say I still was disappointed how easily he was defeated. There was no reason. Again, all the stuff that the Demolisher used was technology based and not magic based.
True.
Things that I've seen Mumm-Ra do. If he can pick up part of his pyramid and fling it at Lion-O when he's inside like one of the trials, he could have picked that guy up, the Demolisher, and thrown him halfway across the planet. And he could have made his ship sink magically, and if the guy even held him, once he cast the spell for the ship to start sinking into the sand, I would have said, get these things off of me, because that ship is never coming back if you don't. I don't know. He was able to do it in other episodes. I guess if he'd done that, then that would have been the end of the episode. But
no, but you're right. Knowing his full potential.
So he's the biggest bungler for me.
I love what you said. I would follow that up, but I am going to go with Demolisher himself, because I feel like this lifestyle can't be kept up for what, like, just fighting continuously, like Lion-O said, without a cause. This can't be healthy. So I think the Demolisher was a bungler just because this is his lifestyle, although he never comes back, so he's alive still.
He bungled. He's a life bungler. Okay.
In Monkian's bargain, I really do feel like he bungled his life. He did get away, so some might say he was successful. You know, he didn't get beaten. He's still on the loose. But Monkian's bargain, right off the bat, I'm going with Monkian for being too greedy. Mumm-Ra literally upheld his bargain. He literally gave him the third sector.
I honestly believe, so again, I'm not saying he's the biggest bungler at this moment, but I do believe that Mumm-Ra would have let him leave the pyramid without any restitution on his part, because he got what he wanted.
Yes.
Mumm-Ra got what he wanted. He felt validated, and he's like, bye. That doesn't mean that maybe down the road he would have said, remember our bargain, when he wanted him to do something else for him.
Yes. That I could see.
Who's to say? But at that moment, I thought he's like, bye, I'm going in my crypt, sarcophagus.
Yeah, he was contempt. The sword was going blind. He got the claw shield, and he literally said, the third sector is yours, Monkian. Like, Mumm-Ra kept up his bargain, which is something he usually doesn't do.
He's like, bye.
So I think Monkian's greed bungled this.
I'm going to say multiple bunglers.
I mean, there is you can be a multi-faceted.
Mumm-Ra was a bungler because he should have known that to be better with the binding of the ThunderCats. Wily Kid and Wily Cat were left, and he could see this, so don't act like he didn't know what was going on. He was probably watching. Don't you think that Wily Kid and Wily Cat would have eventually got out of the ropes and maybe even done a fantastic rescue? Even if they broke out the other ThunderCats that are sitting around in these blue orb shields, using the thunder to blast it or whatever, using something, even being told by Panther how to use some kind of tool or something.
The burble,
and they would have been back, and they went on a rescue mission for Lion-O.
Call Mandora.
So that's a bungle as far as I'm concerned on both of them, because he didn't trap them in a blue orb. He left them just tied up, thinking they're useless. So that's a bungle. Mumm-Ra not being sure that he has got them trapped is a bungle. Monkian's greed and ultimately was a bungle too. So I'm gonna say I think between the both, I'm saying they're both bungled.
Monkian, Mumm-Ra, Monkian, equal bungles.
Maybe Monkian just slightly more, because his own greed, like you said, and his own volatile instincts that he should be able to kind of suppress. bungled this.
But his sources told him he was going to be able to do this. So he believed it. His own sources told him that he was going to do it. So he had the confidence, David. Monkian had the confidence. Oh, but you know what? Who isn't bunglers? All of you out there who listen to us each month. We want to thank you again for being here for this double ThunderCats episode. Mitesh, Leah, Craig, every other listener out there, you are so appreciated for what you do. You can always find David at Universal Appeal 2021 Word, the Radical Retro Rewind Podcast 1 Word, and our ThunderCats Instagram, ThunderCats 1985 reviews. All of the links will be in the description below. David, we have 2 more episodes for everyone in February, and we couldn't be more excited to be getting through this season.
It is very exciting. I'm actually really enjoying watching them again. To me, they held up. I don't think they took care of the actual
video quality.
But as far as me, I really enjoyed it.
I do too. I'm so glad they do stand up so we can enjoy them still. And there's humor and love and just wonderful feelings with it. We will be back with our regular episodes every Friday. And then the last Friday of the month, we're back with ThunderCats reviews. As always, David, ho!
Ho! Who you calling a hoe?